Request of David Stein to address council regarding transportation safety.
Welcome. Thanks for being here.
And thank you to the clerk's office for rescheduling this. Appreciate the help. Okay. Good morning, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is David Stein, and I'll ad-lib briefly and just say what's happened in the Middle East is terrible and complicated and also very far away, and some of the language around it endangers my family and my community. So a light touch would be appreciated. So today I come to speak with you yet again about transportation safety. However, this time I will talk about some of the second-order challenges posed by the role of land use policy and lack of investment in stormwater conveyance in Southwest Portland. Right now, there's a development proposal that will transform the 51 acres containing Alpenrose Dairy, softball field, and a velodrome into 269 houses, a 4-acre park, and an extension of the Red Electric Trail. In the midst of a climate emergency, critical housing shortage, and a desire to make Portland more attractive to residents and visitors alike, this is an abysmal failure. This site is worthy of zoning greater than R5, and with some commercial space mixed in, could also be a destination and attract real transit service from TriMet, more than 3 buses a day. The lack of density makes transit less economical to provide and is also a long-term liability to the city, as the cost of providing services will exceed the tax revenue generated by this new use of the property. Beyond the site containing no meaningful destinations and density worthy of a distant suburb, it will also become car-dependent due to sidewalks and bike facilities only being constructed along the property's frontage. This is because when a new development goes in, the only frontage that matters is that belonging to the property in question. Any links that would benefit the future residents of the property need not be considered. As a result, there will be a gap of about 1/3 of a mile where there are intermittent sidewalks, dirt paths, and one section where there isn't even a shoulder, preventing easy access to the nearest grocery store and a frequent service bus line connecting to downtown Portland and Beaverton Transit Center. The gap will be cost prohibitive to build out, in part because to add sidewalks or bike lanes, a green street, those stormwater management facilities next to the road, must be built. Because Southwest Portland's runoff goes into creeks and streams rather than a centralized facility like the Big Pipe, the only alternative for transportation is a diminished facility for walking and bicycling. If we want to provide actual alternatives to driving in Southwest Portland, we need a serious funded plan to build out Green Street's facilities to replace the current network of ditches and goat paths for people who want to walk and bike to school, their local park, and other destinations. This will make PBOT capital projects in Southwest Portland more competitive with the rest of the city and provide an actual network for people walking and biking. Stormwater facilities should be provided by BES and need to be budgeted as the essential resource that they represent. Having city-funded green streets will also make local improvement districts more palatable, as around half of properties in Southwest Portland have a waiver of remonstrance from developers who shifted their responsibility to future property owners for street frontage. If we're serious about addressing the rampant traffic violence and climate emergency throughout the city, then Southwest Portland needs the opportunity to leave the car at home, because right now, too many people view walking, biking, and by extension, using transit as too dangerous for too many people. Thank you.
Thank you. And David, if I could just chime in, this is a site I'm very, very familiar with, and I'm watching it closely too. And I agree with the overlays that you just identified. The main street there is not a safe street. It has been the site of many fatal car pedestrian interactions, and having far more density than currently exists in that location means there will have to be safety improvements. I also agree that they should not come at the expense of bike and pedestrian infrastructure. There has to be a way to make we have to be able to coexist, particularly in a residential neighborhood. And then generally, I appreciate you highlighting something that doesn't get highlighted often enough. We hear a lot about transportation equity and equity with regard to pedestrian and biking infrastructure in particular, but it's usually in the context of East Portland. And God knows the people in East Portland have waited a long time for that infrastructure, but it's not as well known that Southwest Portland actually has overall abysmal pedestrian and biking infrastructure and a dearth of sidewalks and protections for people who choose not to drive. And so I appreciate that. I'm not as knowledgeable about the zoning issues in that particular area, so I'll educate and inform myself on that. But as people know, and some people don't like me for this reason, I believe within the urban core, there should be density. I think we should accept density in an urban core in exchange for protecting the wildlands and the natural beauty that brings a lot of people here in the first place. And so I will look into that just because I am curious and you've piqued my interest. And I appreciate you being here today. Thank you. Commissioner Maps, did you have a?
No, you did great.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Thank
those
you.
words.